I believe. Yep, I believe we're live.
Nice.
When I see the picture come up, so we can have this awkward moment that we have at the beginning of
Beginning of
every
ever.
episode ever. Just this giant
There we go.
awkwardness because they've changed the system here on YouTube. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, joined by Eric Wade.
What's up,
And
you guys?
what's up, indeed? I'm not even getting my stream on my channel here. What in the actual F is
See, I,
this?
I just got the notification on my phone.
Okay, yeah, I got my email saying I'm live, but I can't just check it out through my channel. That's what's there's all these unnecessary extra steps going on with YouTube right now. It's kind of redonkulous. So yeah, well, we got a lot to talk about. If you've never seen this show before, this is the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. Eric and I met at the bar at on the All In weekend. We love wrestling. We love talking wrestling. We love meeting other passionate wrestling fans and talking wrestling with other passionate wrestling fans. That's how Eric and I became friends. However, just like all of you out there, Eric and I are not insiders. We're not bookers. We avoid insider terms because we're not wrestlers. We're not insiders. At the end of the day, we are just two marks. Our opinions are just like that of all of yours out there. I'm going to post this on social media to get people going.
Yep. I just put a comment testing, but then it got deleted right away or whatever. So let's see if it's working.
Okay, that's.
What hotel was that? What a great.
I can't remember. I think I want to say it was a Hilton or a Hyatt or something. I remember Hector the bartender.
I think it was Hyatt. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Hyatt. Yeah, it was Hyatt because we stayed at a different. I mean, you guys couldn't make it, but like some of the other crew, we stayed at another Hyatt, and I'm like, is this the same Hyatt? And then when I saw that like the sitting out patch wasn't there, I'm like, oh no, it's a different one. This isn't the same. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So Night of Champions.
Clash of Champions. I liked
Yeah,
it overall,
yeah.
but I thought it started really strong and then kind of faded out.
Yeah, I
Let
agree
me
with
see it.
that. I will say it on record, and you can quote me on this. It's here. Roman Reigns as the bad guy, as the chief, is one of my favorite things in wrestling right now,
Yeah,
and
it's long overdue.
long
They should have
overdue.
done this 2 years ago.
Oh, I agree, but I mean, you can say better late than never. Some people say it's too late. No, it's not fucking too late. This is fucking awesome. I fucking love it.
Yeah,
Um,
especially with WWE because they kind of go in waves anyway or whatever.
right.
If you stopped watching for a few months and then you came back, you wouldn't really be missing much, whatever. So it's not too late for him to turn because some people are probably just going to be coming back and being like, oh, he's heel now, cool, and then
Right.
watch it or whatever. But especially since it's WWE, because people assume it'll be there forever, they can always just come back to it later or whatever. But I think it's great. I just like I said too, it's just like it's welcome. It's about time.
Yes, absolutely it is. So yeah, I love it. I love how they're like he's my favorite part about the whole thing is he's not part doing the Shield shit anymore. Like the Shield can finally die. It's over. It's
Yeah.
done. One is in AEW. Fuck the Shield. It's done.
I
And
know they really did try to do that last Shield reunion too, and it just did not work. And then Ambrose left to kind of solidify it, like never coming back
well, I
again.
just kind of like even my thing whenever they all split up. Even with my gripe with Roman, it's like, why does Roman get to still be the Shield guy?
Right.
Why can't what you're already not using his character correctly, and now you're like letting him be the Shield guy still. Like, remember these guys? Remember when they used to be cool, y'all? But love what they're fucking doing right now. Like, I'm not gonna say I love the WWE product overall, but I'm not a fucking hater to the point where I'm gonna be like, oh well, I WWE is so I would shit on this because
Well, but
dictates I should shit on it. Like, I will give credit where it's due, and that is awesome, and I love it, and it's one of my favorite things.
yeah, they get in their way a lot of their own time, and that's what I was talking about when I said that this pay per view kind of faded out for me, where it started
Right.
really strong,
Ray's in the
and
house.
then what's up, Ray? I see you.
See you.
It started really strong, and then I remember the two matches that lost me. It was the tag team championship match, and then the Oscar one, where she just Bailey and Oscar. I know they tried to do what they had to do because last minute booking and last minute thing cancellations and stuff. But
Right.
those two matches back to back in a row just threw the whole show for me on a swerve. And then me, this is my own personal taste or my own personal opinion, but I was like, well, it's WWE. Why do I have trust in them that they're going to turn this around? So for the rest of the matches, I just kind of vaguely watched it, like in the background.
Right.
The first two matches, I was all on board. I 100% paid attention. I was super into them. Once those two matches lost me, I was like, that's WWE doing WWE, so I'm just gonna put it on in the background, kind of a thing.
I
And it's
agree.
a shame because the other matches were the ending matches were actually really good too, but I didn't give them the shot they deserved just because it's WWE. So it's kind of
Well,
like, yeah, they're always going to be great, but they're always going to be themselves, which sometimes it can be that, they're
right.
shooting themselves in their own foot, so they kind of get in their own way sometimes.
I think
So,
I personally had the advantage of not watching this live. I watched it the next day.
yeah,
So,
I didn't get to see it live either.
so with me watching it the next day, whenever like something wasn't interesting me, I'm just kind of like I kind of had, I wasn't. I feel like when I'm watching things on a delay, when I'm not watching them live with everybody else, like if something doesn't interest me and I kind of fade out, like I don't hold it against it as much as I would if I was watching it live, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I completely agree with you about the tag team stuff. The tag division in WWE is complete garbage, and anyone that thinks otherwise is like, I'm afraid I'm gonna need to step outside and talk to you because you don't know what good tag team wrestling is. This is my. I always used to joke. Here's my one be a dick for every show. This is I'm using it now. This is my be a dick. If you think the WWE tag division is better than AEW in any way, shape, or form, yeah, no, I'm not in the slightest. No, and uh, it showed on that show just how fucking poor and crap. Great talent in there. I'm not going to knock Cesaro and Nakamura, who were in
yeah, and
the.
that's the thing too. It's they have great talent, they just don't use them properly.
Well, the thing is, like with the WWE tag division is essentially, oh, you guys ain't doing that right now. Why don't you guys go be a tag team? All right. Oh, okay. And
Right.
it means nothing. Whereas compare that to the AEW tag division, where it's like the highlight of the show in some cases. Like it's the tag division means just as much as the world title. Whoop, in
Yeah.
AEW. Um,
Yeah, and a good example of that is oh, I'm gonna mess up their names. The two blondes, Manny Rose, put together with Dana Brooke for no reason, but now they're just teaming together. Where it's like, what? Why would I? But the thing is, like Omega and Hangman got thrown together, sort of. But
okay. You can call me an AEW fanboy. Hangman and Omega got thrown together, but at least it made sense for them to be together. They were in the Elite together.
right, yeah,
It isn't
and
just, hey, you're two heel or you're two bad guys and you're two good guys. Form tag teams, y'all. Like, Hangman and Kenny got together because they were making tag teams because they were in the same stable. And then it
right,
just so happened that they caught fire. They actually made a storyline around two guys catching fire by accident, but even by them catching fire by accident, it made sense for them to be together because they were in a stable together. It'd be no different than if the NWO, yes, the Outsiders were the team of the NWO, but, if fucking, Steiner and Buff Bagwell became a tag team because they were part of the NWO together,
or the New Age Outlaws.
Exactly, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
how
things
they
like that.
how they first got thrown together. But no, but I was gonna say too, even when they're thrown together, if they do it well, then you're not gonna remember that they're not a tag team or whatever. But WWE a lot of times throws two guys together who don't do it well, who don't clash well, who don't mesh well. So it's just like when you're watching them and they get a tag team title shot anyway. It's like, what is this? Like, why? But anyway, that was the match that threw me. And I thought Andrade and Garza would have won because, I mean, why do they keep on getting
Because
these chances?
at least
Never
they're
winning?
a fucking tag team.
Yeah, but they just lose, and then they get another shot, and then they lose, and then they get another shot, and then. But Andrade, like that's what you're saying. Andrade's like one of the best renowned world wrestlers in the world too, like outside WWE. So it's
Right.
not the talent's fault. Like the talent's actually really good in these matches or whatever. It's just the shit they're given.
This, it's not quite as bad as the Hogan TNA era, but I remember in the Hogan TNA era, I made the comment to a friend. I went, "You have arguably the best roster in pro wrestling, but if they have no direction, the best roster look like the worst roster." It's like, it's like if you could have the an all-star NFL team, but if the guy calling the plays doesn't know anything about football or doesn't know how to coach these players, they're not going to, be Super Bowl champions. And that's kind of what I'm feeling with WWE now. Come on and at
Yeah,
me, all
that
the
makes
WWE,
sense.
and come on and at me, all the WWE fans are gonna go like, actually they are winning the Super Bowl because they're making more money than your little loser AEW Fed ever will. Go ahead and bring that on. Just go ahead and say it and just get it out of your system, because I know anytime anyone says WWE's not that good, you got to get that out of your system. So please leave it in the comments section below. I guess I was a dick twice today, but who's counting?
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. But yeah, it's like the money's nice, but what's better as probably a performer and an artist is creative freedom or expression, which
I mean,
WWE guys don't get a lot of. So it's kind of like you really do have to be a company guy to be in the WWE.
yeah,
You know what I mean? There's people, even if you just work and you have coworkers at home, and you'll see like, oh man, I have this one employee who's super, strict and on the ball, and tucks his shirt in extra high and stuff like that. It was like that's a company guy. You know what I mean? Like
right.
there's just certain people who are there for the paycheck, and then there's certain people who are there to try to dominate it, or there's certain people there just because they're happy to be there. There's certain people there for whatever, but
For money. I mean, I feel like the one thing with AEW is everybody's kind of there to explore themselves, and I feel like you get a good audience
yeah,
because people are like, oh, what's this guy going to do without the shackles? There's enough people that are like Miro. We'll get to him later, like Cody. I mean, I know he did this before AEW, but there's with given an opportunity, is this guy good? And then, you kind of see in some cases who is and who isn't. Or who can rise higher, or who, well, WWE had it right. You are a mid-carder. We'll get to that a little bit later, but let's get to Raw.
well, I wanted to just brush over the. I like the ladder match a lot because when they announced it, I knew it was going to be great, but it was. I love the way that they did it because I knew Sami Zayn was somehow going to win it because he's like the future of the company at this point with those two with AJ and Jeff Hardy.
Well,
But
Sammy's close to their age, actually.
what?
Yeah, Sammy's close to AJ and Jeff's ages.
Oh no, yeah, but I like the I just like the finish of it. I like their. They surprised
it made
me
me squeamish. I mean, I really was kind of like, ugh, with that with Jeff.
with Hardy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because you hear of a ladder match, triple threat ladder match, they've been there, done that. What are they going to do to build the tension, or what are they going to do to be pleasantly surprising? And I really liked it, but I was surprised with the ladder match. I really liked it, but then they're trying to hype up the next coming thing, which is the Hell in a Cell, which they botched for so long these past couple years. So hopefully they can do something like the ladder match where they introduce something that the fans didn't. It's even something simple like, oh, just handcuffs, or, you know what I mean? But they can't rip off the same idea twice now. But like, that was the match of the night for me by far, just because of how pleasant it was without it, and then the creative finish also, and then Strike I won in my opinion. Just the whole thing was great.
Oh
and they
yeah.
opened too. So it's like, how are you gonna put the best one on first, and then the rest of the show after is just gonna,
Well, I
But
mean, the main event to me, it was good. Just as far as the character work. Like it wasn't as good in terms of in-ring action, but I'm not a Rue. I know wrestling's bigger than just in-ring action and Dave Meltzer stars. So with what Roman was able to accomplish furthering his character, I'd say the main event did a good job doing
mhm.
something to kind of build the tension throughout the night.
Yeah, but yeah, the last two matches, Reigns and then the Orton match, those are both good too. So
Mm. Didn't care for the Orton match that much. You're gonna call,
yeah,
call,
because
call me a hater, but like I just like, yeah, it's just kind of there. This was, you know, look at Randy
yeah,
Orton.
me,
Look at Randy Orton and Edge, and you will see why. Maybe sometimes I gotta rethink my stance on Randy Orton. You watch this match, I know exactly why I feel the way I do about Randy Orton.
yeah, me and you are on the same page with our appreciation for Orton matches, where it's like,
Yeah.
fuck, man.
Oh,
But
that was good, man. If he
but
can
I
do that
did,
all the time, oh, he's not cool.
yeah, but I did enjoy it, and I liked how all of his ghosts from Christmas past came back to haunt him. It's just like,
That was good.
but anyway, yeah, Raw was pretty good too. It was
It's
different
decent.
because they scrapped some of the stuff. I don't know if they scrapped it permanently, but like some of this shit that's been like almost a mockery of itself, whatever they didn't have this week. So it's kind of hit and miss, I guess, or kind of a little bit more
You know,
easy
as,
going. But
as far as Raw, I did like the Asuka Zelina Vega match. You know, Seth, the whole Seth Rollins, Aaliyah, Buddy Murphy thing. That's just
it's weird,
I
right?
don't it's weird, and I'm just not digging it. I mean, my stance on Seth Rollins as the cult leader hasn't changed.
Yeah, I'm
So
glad they keep on like Michael Cole. He's always repeating stuff on commentary. I'm glad he's always saying 19-year-old Aaliyah, 19. I'm glad they keep on reminding me she's 19 because otherwise it'd be really creepy.
right,
It's like, hey guys, she's legal, okay? Like she can, like that's basically what they're saying. Don't feel weird about this. She's legal, and if she wants to date Freddie Murphy, who's 31 or whatever, it's like.
right.
But yeah, it's like these segments too. It's just like, when did Raw become? I know it's always been a soap opera in a certain way, but now it's like all my children, all my children. Like, damn, dude. She has to run to the back all upset, stomps her foot, then they gotta go chase her, and it's just like, oh man, why am I watching this?
Uh, Black and Owens was decent, just didn't like the ending. The R-Truth stuff was fun. Dominic versus
Tozawa's back.
what's that?
Tozawa's back
Yeah,
from
you
the
got
shark.
yay. See, it's funny because it's racist.
He should have had like shark guts on him or something. Like, I cut my way out of the belly of the shark. Like
Right.
something.
Dominic Murphy. Dominic just
Yeah,
he's
it's like,
very for all the grief that people want to say about Cody Rhodes and Charlotte, fucking at least they went through some kind of developmental.
yeah.
Cody
I
went
don't
to
know, man.
Cody went to OVW. Charlotte went to NXT. Dominic has a lot of potential, but he needs to not be on Raw.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you're right. He did surprise me though, and he does surprise me because when he first was gonna have his first match, I was like, dude, come on with these gimmick matches of
Right.
having, we just him and oh god, the guy who faced Adam Cole. I don't even know who that is.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah, Pat McAfee. Those guys really surprised me because when you're gonna have a match featuring the son of the wrestler and then just a commentator from wherever, it's like,
And a
oh,
former punter. He wasn't even like a linebacker or something. He was a punter in the
right. It's
NFL.
like it just reeks of, oh man, this match is not going to be good. But both
Right.
these guys have actually done really good. It's just Dominic's just hanging out for like, now he's just there. Like,
Dominic needs to go to NXT and sharpen his skills, and he could be
right.
great.
But he doesn't, like you're saying, he doesn't need to be on Raw every week. Like if it was like imagine if when was the first pay per view he made a debut at or whatever? It was
SummerSlam.
like 2 months. SummerSlam, right? 2
Well,
months ago?
SummerSlam was his first match.
But so SummerSlam, right? Imagine if we didn't see anything from him until maybe like Clash of the Champions or next time. It'd be like, oh, cool, I want to see Dominic again because he did
Right.
well last time. But now that he's every week and now he's dealing with his little sister, now I know all the Rey Mysterio. It's like, dude, like it's just too much too soon. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm sure they could have gave Ali that spot, or they could have gave but Dominic Mysterio, he has the family lineages and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
he gets
I get why people get turned off by the family of wrestlers getting. That's a big another sidebar here, but a lot of people, I understand why, like, if you're like, oh, that person's the son or daughter or sister or brother or nephew or niece of whoever, so they're on TV. Oh, well, they use their family to get there, but certain people rise to that occasion. You know, your
right.
Bray Wyatts, your even to a lesser extent, you know, your Bo Dallas and your Curtis Axels. Whether you want to admit it or not, and I know this is like the big thing that nobody wants to admit on the internet, Cody rose to the occasion when he didn't have to deal with the WWE when he had a chance. Charlotte, again, not popular, but Charlotte fucking rose to the occasion on several occasions, and y'all can go fuck yourselves if you feel the word differently. That's number 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was a dick 3 times today. I really need to quit being a dick. But, you know...
But then you get your Nia Jaxes.
You get your Nia Jax, you know, you get your fucking... Going back even further, your Ted DiBiase Jr.'s, your David Flairs, your...
yeah. How could I forget David Flair? Yeah, you sometimes, every once in a while, you'll get your, not to be mean, but Bart Gunn, or Billy Gunn's son, Austin Gunn, he's not the best either.
But okay, he's not the best. But you know what Austin Gunn does more often than not? He's on Dark, polishing himself.
Yeah.
He's not on. He's not on fucking Dynamite, getting ready to beat Brody Lee for the fucking TNT title. He's on Dark.
Yeah, it's a good point. And often when he's on Dark, he's just behind Billy.
And he's losing.
Yeah.
It's not like he's getting, it's not like he fucking just beat Kenny Omega last week and, posed at the end of fucking Dynamite with his foot over Kenny Omega going, I'm the ass man, son. I'm the ass man, son. No, he's on Dark and he's losing and he's trying to hone his skills. That's how you fucking do this. I'll concede. SummerSlam, they need to put that match on there. It had some build to it. It had some hype around it. You got to do that.
Right.
Now scale it the fuck back.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like I ordered a small and they gave me an extra large. And it's like, dude, it's too much Dominic. Can I return this?
Okay, extra large. Thank you. Maybe I can get a couple more, but the next day you're like, I'd like a small, please. And you get an extra large again. It's like, okay, stop. You're gonna make me fat on Dominic now.
Yeah.
Mentioned Ali. Him and his random ragtag group of people beat the Hurt Business. Why? Why would you do that to the Hurt Business?
They need to be squashing everything. Like, if they're going to make them the most intimidating or new team or must-watch, they can't be losing. Especially
to 3 random people. Like that... That should be like a point of fucking storytelling. We're a team, you're 3 random people, we're friends, and we have chemistry, you're 3 random people. We should kick your ass because we're a unit, and you're 3 random people.
That's another... This is the thing where it's like the WWE is getting in their own way. They could have gold on their hands, but they're trading it in for a golden gilded coin.
So we have Drew McIntyre versus Robert Roode. This was not.
And see, this is the same thing. Robert Roode, maybe he got hurt, or I don't know why he's been gone. But when he first came up from NXT, and NXT too, he was like the man. And when he first came up to NXT, they had such a good opportunity to build him up like a main eventer,
Mm-hmm.
but for whatever reason they didn't. And so now he's just a Dolph Ziggler kind of a like tag teamer or whatever, mid card
Yeah.
right away. And him coming back right to face God damn it, to face who?
Drew.
I forget. Ziggler, yeah. To face Drew for the belt, or it wasn't even for the title, right? It was just a match for him.
Uh,
But it could have been such a
no,
huge
it
thing.
was
It
a
could have
title
been.
match. It was a title match.
It was a title match.
According to the my recap that I'm using as a little cheating device, it was a title match. I didn't think it was a title match when I watched it, but according to Bleacher Report, it was. So.
And imagine if that's how Drew lost it, because he's had it for a while. But you know, how Raw every once in a while will do that. Like they'll have like a
Right.
surprise winner. Imagine if Robert Roode came back and won the Universal or the WWE.
I mean, on a personal level, I'd like it, but I could also see the people who are critical going, "What the fuck is this?"
Well,
It
no,
would
but
be-
he
let me put
could
it
have.
on a personal level. I wouldn't like it because it'd be hypocritical of me, without any hype and without any build, for Robert Roode to win that title, to say, "Yay, this is good," but yet me condemn New Japan for going, "Why the fuck did Jay White just win the title for no fucking reason out of the blue like that?" It'd be hypocritical of me to forgive the logic because I'm more of a Robert Roode fan than a Jay White fan. So I wouldn't
Well, but
want that.
Robert Roode has experience. He has years. If you didn't know him from WWE, you probably know him from Impact, or you know. But he had such a big window to be such a big star, and
Yeah,
they let
and
it
he was
slip.
in NXT. Don't misconstrue that. He was amazing in NXT.
Yeah. So, and I remember him in NXT because of his entrance. It was like a must see. You have to hear the song. You have to see the entrance.
You got to sing the
And
song
then,
along with him.
yeah, it was awesome. And then
The highlight of
when
an NXT house show I went to was me getting to sing the song. A house show was great because I got to sing the song during his entrance.
you got to see him. That's tight.
Yeah, it was way back in April of 2017. He was still the champ. He ironically wrestled Ty Dillinger in the main event. Yeah.
That's funny. But no, yeah, I had such high aspirations for Bobby Roode and WWE, and they themselves got in their own way with him, and so him coming back could have been such a huge impact, and it just wasn't. And so it was like everyone knew he was going to lose anyway, and everyone, it's like whatever, who cares, that kind of a thing. But I'm sure it's like cool to see him back, but it was just like
And then,
not as impactful as it could have been.
but we're not done. Because then Randy Orton wears night vision goggles, shuts the lights out, beats everybody up.
That was the most odd thing I've ever seen. This is like a Saturday Night Live sketch turned up to 11. It's like those goggles, by the way, were those even night vision goggles? They look like swimming goggles. Like the prop guy forgot to go get the right thing, or they didn't get their shipment of the prop they needed. So.
Like if this were done right, that could have been like really like, oh fuck. But instead, like, oh dear God, it was awful. It's just like it looks so hokey and it looks so bad. It's like, look, hokey shit's okay in wrestling when you're self-aware that the shit is hokey. You know what I mean?
That's an elaborate scheme too.
Like,
He had to get hired by catering.
Think of the Stadium Stampede. Okay, like,
Yeah.
call us AEW stands all you want, but think of the Stadium Stampede. It was somewhat meant to be fun.
Right.
Like there were some serious parts and some serious action, some serious bumps in it, but for the most part, it was meant to be self-aware. Like, okay, this is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, if you didn't get the horse and the bar scene and the mat changing gimmicks in the pool and stuff,
Right.
Yeah, like if you didn't laugh at any of that, then I don't know, maybe you don't have a pulse.
Yeah. So like there's still some like, okay, the action's good and it is settling a score, but there is a little bit. It's like Deadpool. Deadpool is still, there's a lot of great action in Deadpool, but it is a little self-aware. Like, all right, this is still a little ridiculous. Whereas this segment was thinking it was Dark Knight, but really it was Adam West Batman. Like, no joke. That's what I felt about it. It's like they're trying to think this some fucking serious shit here, you guys, but really like it's not, or it didn't come
Right.
across that way.
Yeah, especially because like, yeah, it was too goofy to be taking itself seriously, but the whole thing, it was just like way too goofy, way too crazy.
Right.
He has to sneak in the room, wait for all these guys to get together, and then play poker or whatever the hell they're doing. He has to like go grab the can, so you can clear that table, then take off his disguise. He has like a hood over a hat, over a mask, over glasses, whatever the hell he's wearing. All this stuff, like, and then he puts on the most cheesy ass goggles we've ever seen. Turns off the lights, beats everyone up for like 10 seconds, and then turns the lights back on. It's like, what are you doing, dude? This is crazy. But I think that's going to be my Halloween costume this year. Is Randy Orton as the
Randy
3D
Orton and
the 3D goggles, glasses wearing Randy Orton janitor.
Miss A says that he's seen the South Park Pandemic special. Pretty great. I will check it out later. Thank you for still coming and showing your support. Good sir.
I
And
saw it last night. It's hilarious.
yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so but I'm sure it will be because fucking leave it to South Park. We ready to go to Dynamite?
Dynamite was pretty good.
Let's go to Dynamite.
The return of Cody almost kicked off the show. Well, Darby Allin versus
Ricky Starks.
Ricky
This
Starks.
match was great. I really liked it.
Did I ask you this before? Have you ever played Mega Man X, Mega Man X2 or 3 or whatever? Any of those series?
I've played a little bit of Mega Man, but like I struggle with it, even though it's on my Xbox right now.
No, because like in X, I think they introduced it's for the Super Nintendo, but they introduced his cooler hipster kind of a brother, where like he wears sunglasses, he has a ponytail instead of a laser, or instead of a gun he shoots, he also has a laser sword, like almost like a lightsaber or whatever, and when his music hit, like every time he's on screen, his music hits, and all this, the music's all elaborate and whatever.
Right.
It's almost just like Ricky Stark's entrance music, and that's like Ricky Stark's character to me, and like I fucking love it. I'm all for Ricky Starks, but for him and Darby Allin to start the show too is almost like the ladder match starting off Clash of Titans, where it's like, dude, you guys are really throwing out the big guns right away. But a lot of Dynamite was really good. I enjoyed pretty much all of it.
Well, we'll give the quick rundown. I really like this match. I feel like Ricky Starks needs a big win soon because he's way too talented to just be losing all the time.
He's losing all the time.
He's winning on Dark, which
Yeah, but on TV, where more people are watching it or whatever on TV,
right?
He is losing a lot.
But at least they acknowledge that, hey, he's winning on Dark. Like in WWE, and I'm not saying this is good or bad. I'm just saying it's different and it's something I appreciate. On WWE, if a person wins on Heat or Metal back in the day, yeah, whatever. At least on and I get why, it's a secondary show. That's how they build their show. Cool, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking it, but I do like the fact that it's like, yes, it is Dark, and yes, it isn't, the clearly not the A show, but at least what happened on there matters.
Yeah.
At least matters in terms of the record.
Count the matches.
Yeah. So Cody
comes back, does a great promo again. He's just the promo master.
He is. Like, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I listened to it. I didn't get to watch it live or whatever, but I was listening to it in my car, and when he's talking or does promos, it always reminds me of the Bill Pullman president in Independence Day 4 or ID4,
right.
Where he gives the speech at the middle of the movie and rallies everyone. Cody always does that. He has that down. Like, that's his specialty.
Yeah, love great interview from Cody. Dog collar match for the TNT title. Cody versus Brody Lee next week. We will definitely be covering that
dog strap
one.
match.
Dog collar match. Yep.
We'll see what happens. I don't think. Do you think Cody will win?
I wouldn't be surprised either way. I could see him winning just to drop it at a later date. I could also see him
I mean, Brody really
I see.
hasn't done much with it
I see
as
one of two things
yet.
happen. I see Cody getting the belt back and then dropping it to Darby, or I see Cody failing and Darby beating Brody Lee at Full Gear. Either way,
Uh-huh.
I see Darby Allin getting this title sooner rather than later.
But I like how Cody admits he's like, yeah, I was hurt, but I also got a call from Hollywood at the same time, so I
So
had
they
a
don't
message
insult the fans'
there.
intelligence, you know, like, okay, because we all knew what he was doing,
Right?
you know.
Yeah. But yeah, but anyway, I don't. Definitely, he's not going to lose again in 3 minutes. It's going to be a longer match or whatever. It's going to be a good one. And
Yeah.
Cody takes punishment. He's like he'll get whipped. He'll get dog. I don't know what a dog collar match is. What is that? But
It's when you both wear a dog collar around your neck and they're like you're got like chain linking you together. It's like a strap match, only it's with a chain and you wear the collar around your neck instead of around your
Jeez.
wrist. Do you have the network?
Yeah.
Look up Roddy Piper, the first Starrcade, WrestleMania, or Starrcade 83. Look up Roddy Piper versus Greg Valentine from Starrcade 83. That's a dog collar match you should check out.
They did a dog collar match. Wow.
In 1983, yeah, Roddy Piper. It's brutal too. Like it's, just watch it when you get a chance. Get on the network. Starrcade 83, Roddy Piper, Greg Valentine dog collar match. Check it out. Check it out before
Yeah.
Check it out before Dynamite next week.
I'm watching it or I'm writing it down right now.
But you know, this is one that's a little close to home for you and some of our other viewers. SCU versus FTR in the 20-minute brush with greatness. So, storyline going on here is in their contracts, or they've done some kind of political maneuvering now that they're the champions. FTR said when they defend the titles, it will no longer be a 60-minute time limit. It'll only be a 20, but they'll defend the belts every week in what they consider a 20-minute brush with greatness. And this week, the AEW Tag Championship was defended against SCU. This match was awesome.
Yeah, man.
Fucking
Scorpio
loved
Sky.
it.
They said he wasn't going to be in SU anymore or whatever, but I'm glad he still is there because he can go, dude. Like,
Well, and
as a tag team guy or independent.
Again, they acknowledged that in an interview. They went, I know I want to go on my singles my singles run, but we got to get these tag belts back. Let's go, Just things like that mean so much because it's like, okay, you're at least acknowledging, hey, we're switching things up, but here's the reason why. All it takes is 1 minute promo. Oh, okay, that's better than, it's better than like, there are times like where tag teams break up. No, they're back together. Oh, no, they split, but they're back together. Oh, they're champions. They're friends again. It's all good.
Yeah,
TNA
I
did
agree.
that. WWE did that. AEW, Scorpio acknowledged he wants to go on his own, but, he mentioned like, hey, we ain't going to have these guys here doing this, the tag belts. Let's go. And great match. Scorpio Sky, yeah, he's
great.
he needs to go places in AEW.
He's probably the equivalent of Cesaro, like where he's
Yep.
underappreciated, not being used to his best ability or whatever, but even in tag, he's great, and you know what I mean. Like, I would say that he's like AEW's Cesaro, but he's awesome, dude. And then every time he's putting on matches or doing stuff, he's gonna be it smooth and whatever. But FTR versus them, this is like one of those. It was pay-per-view worthy, but here it is on Dynamite. It's great.
Makes you wonder what the pay-per-view is probably going to be best friends.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
I think
Yeah, but best.
the pay-per-views, we're in October now. The pay-per-view's November 7th. We're only about a 4 or 5 weeks away from the pay-per-view, so they can stretch best friends out till then. Absolutely.
I said that right now, and then immediately I was like, no, but best friends have been getting some straight cred lately because especially after that parking lot brawl. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe they'll pull it out because I can definitely see it. Like, and there'll be a big face win too. Like they'll get a good pop and it'll be great.
I don't think they'll win. I think we still got to get.
Could you imagine ever Orange Cassidy turning on them?
Oh God, I don't want to think about that right now. I,
That would be the biggest heel turn in wrestling.
it would be, but let's not do it right now. We still got some mileage.
Oh no, yeah, I'm just saying, like, could you ever see it? Like,
Oh, maybe.
Orange Cassidy of all people.
So, got Isaiah Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. The match was better than the segment last week. It was good.
Mhm.
You know, Cassidy got to shine, but still, you know, the story was good. Of as good as Cassidy was, he still don't have the experience of Jericho. Liked it, told a good story, you know. And the funny thing after this was you saw Luther and, you know, kind of have words with Jericho, and apparently they've announced it's going to be Luther and Serpent. I can't say it. Serpentico. How do you say that? Is that how I say it?
Serpentico.
Yeah, Serpentico versus Jericho and Hager next week. And I think for all the people complaining about this, Luther and Jericho broke in together. You think Jericho probably on his 30th anniversary of wrestling would like to maybe wrestle Luther? Like, who the
Yeah,
fuck are you to tell
Luther's
him?
an odd character too. He's weird.
He's different. I mean, like, I'm not going to say I'm the world's biggest Luther fan, but I'm also, they broke into wrestling together, and you know, you don't think that maybe Jericho wants to wrestle Luther in his 30th anniversary of wrestling? Like,
I'm
seriously.
down.
Yeah, I
You
want to
know,
see it.
Jericho's gonna. He. I mean, him and Cassidy. Yeah, it wasn't the best, but he's doing his job, putting over this new talent, making them seem like they belong there or they're legit. And then if him versus Luther happens, I'm sure Jericho's gonna make it great too. Like, there's nothing Jericho can do at this point where I'm gonna be like, yeah, that sucks.
And here's the thing, he can, you know, he doesn't need to lose to Luther. He can just make the program good, and he can get back up to his winning ways with Luther. There's a
Mhm.
segment where MJF comes in, and I'm really thinking MJF's trying to steal the inner circle away from Jericho. I think we might be seeing Jericho and possibly Sammy after this segment, who kind of had some resentment towards MJF. Jericho and Sammy might be flipping over to the good side while MJF's trying to steal the inner circle away from Jericho.
You think MJF's? I don't know what MJF's deal is or what they're gonna do, but yeah, him and Jericho are definitely gonna come head to head. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have a match, and then I don't know, man. If Jericho has to turn, I he can pull it off, but I'd rather just have him be the leader of the inner circle. But the inner circle will probably turn on him too because they're like, dude, you know, you were the Le champion at one point, but now you're just, you know, I don't want to say washed up because he's not,
No, but
but if he's
storyline
not the
wise, they could say
champion
something
anymore,
like that. Yeah. Um, we have Orange Cassidy versus 10. Didn't really like this match too much, but
yeah,
whatever. Um,
yeah, Orange Cassidy needed a bigger opponent, but I don't know. As long as he's
it's a
winning, as
good
long as he's
storyline
not,
wise. It's good for Cassidy to get that win. It's just kind of wasn't the greatest match.
yeah.
Britt Baker versus Red Velvet. This was the best Britt Baker's looked in a long time. I think so far in AEW, this was kind of her best. Britt Baker can keep this up. She's definitely worthy of beating Hikaru Shida for the title. No question. No question.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a big Britt Baker fan because of her character work,
Yeah.
but just like Becky Lynch, I'm not really impressed with her matches. So we're gonna have to. For me, I'm kind of split on her, where I do like her and I do give her, you know, credit and all that, whatever. But when I come to their matches, I haven't been impressed yet. But her character work is beyond
This match
Becky
was good. I
Lynch's.
like this match.
Yeah.
Not gonna say she's the best. It's like she's not the best wrestler in the company. You know, she's not on Statlander, Shida, Rio, or Thunder Rosa's
Or
level.
Thunder Rosa. Yeah,
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 but
yeah.
she's good. She's getting better. This match was better
Right.
than what I'm used to with Britt Baker.
And she is improving. You can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Main event. Eddie Kingston brings out the referee, which I, as a personal, as somebody who's been a fan of Eddie Kingston for a long time, him bringing out the referee Bryce Remsburg to kind of call him out. This was a nice segment because Remsburg was actually the referee like in Chikara and CZW and Ring
Uh-huh.
of Honor and all these like smaller promotions where Kingston wrestled, and like you know there's like a legit friendship with Remsburg and Kingston. So
See, I want
like,
to be a ref. I bet refs are like super cool.
so them doing something like this was like a nice little for me as someone who's been following them through all that. Like that's a cool little callback, a nice layer to the storytelling for just in general, but like for people like me, like, oh, that's cool how they worked that in. That's great.
Uh huh.
Kingston got to pick Mox's opponent, and it ended up being the Butcher. This was an okay match. I'm not the world's biggest Butcher and Blade fan. I mean, they've had some good matches. They've had some stinkers. Uh, they both did a decent job, and it was a good match. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's
Yeah,
what it
for I
is.
mean, I again these two guys too. They came from the indies. I like their look. I like their character work. They're great. But having a independent or having a solo match for this guy, it's like what? And then what? I mean, you can't really expect too much. That it's kind of like Roman versus Uso. It's like, well, isn't Uso a tag team though? So if he goes solo, it's like, yeah, I'm down to watch it, but I'm not gonna expect much. So, it was good for what it was, but yeah, it's just I like Butcher and the Blade together. I don't want to see these guys split up and go solo. It's the worst
Right.
thing.
I mean, sometimes you just need a stopgap. I mean, it made sense because they're in the same stable. Again, at least made sense.
I don't like Moxley's new. I don't. I knew he did. See, this is what we were talking about last week or the week before. I was like, when the Paradigm Shift was banned, I was like, doesn't he have a submission or doesn't he have a different move or whatever? I think
Right.
this is with it, but I don't like the way he like it, all he's doing is like doing a normal chokehold, but then just like super extending his back. It just looks
Right.
weird. Like I don't like it. But if that's his new thing, or if that's how he's going to be putting people
I
away,
don't.
fine.
It didn't. I don't
Yeah.
like as much the paradigm shift, but I didn't really think it was anything. I didn't dislike it. You know what I mean? Uh, but like I
But
was
it just
saying,
doesn't look like a cool submission. Of
no.
all the
But
submission moves I can think of, there's like cooler looking ones than just arching your back and putting someone in a chokehold.
right.
It's like it's just weird, especially for him. It's like you could have done something different, but I don't know.
Yeah. But
You could, dude. Honestly, if Moxley does a crossface, not only would the world go on fire because of the internet or whatever, but like it's the perfect kind of thing for him.
right. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I didn't have a strong feeling on one way or the other. If anybody can make it popular, it's Mox. Everything he
Right.
seems to be touching is turned to gold in AEW. But like I said, he didn't just get a random opponent. At least when they picked Butcher, it wasn't just like Butcher for no fucking reason, like out of the blue, like, hey, Butcher's in the stable. It makes sense.
Right.
And it makes sense from a story perspective to use Butcher, but then you also save a Pentagon or a Phoenix world title match for down the line or for pay per view. Make some money
Hmm.
on that rather than, randomly giving that away on a dynamite. Hey, we need to give something away for free. Throw Butcher in there. We need to make money on something. Throw Pentagon in there.
Yeah. Yeah, Pentagon. The first time I ever saw him was at All In, and then first time I ever heard of him, I never heard of him before.
I
But
was I was
so
aware of him from Lucha Underground and a little bit. I wasn't watching Impact religiously, but like there's people, hey, check out this match from Impact. So I was aware of him before All In, but then like since All In and definitely since AEW, I've become
a
big
bigger
fan.
fan.
Yes,
Well,
but Phoenix and
yeah,
Bandito was my first time seeing them.
at All In, I was a immediate fan. I was like, dude, this guy's the coolest. What the fuck is everyone's chanting his Cerro Meadow, and he's doing the hand signal. He looks like Scorpion to me, like because he was all in gold at that point.
Right,
He looked like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, and he's badass. But I thought he was a single guy, but now him being in Lucha Brothers, now I'm like, dude, the Lucha Brothers are the coolest fucking. And I even told my brother because my brother doesn't watch wrestling at all. But every once in a while he'll come over and while I'm watching a pay per view or whatever, and so he's seen the Lucha house party in WWE,
right,
or just like the goofy, hey, we're all luchadors in WWE where we party and dance and whatever. So when we watched AEW and the Lucha Brothers came out and they're like flames coming out in the background, Titantron, and they're badass with a cool song, and they're all fucking. My brother was like, "Whoa!" Like these
right.
guys are like even he can see the difference. Where it's like, dude, these guys are look legit. But yeah, like you're saying, it should have been someone like that because or Penta because then it would have been a little bit better of a main event for everyone, but good for them for trying to get new eyes
Well,
on new talent.
don't give them a. We have some friends that always like to say, "Think like you're actually in the business, and you'll realize blank, blank, blank about WWE." Well, if you think like you're in the business, you'd realize that maybe an unadvertised Pentagon versus Mox match isn't the best way to make some money. But advertising it
Yeah,
down the road's the best way. But at least you can
yeah.
have enough people in your stable to go, hey, we can throw this guy in, and Mox can get a win and build up
And
for
but
next week.
that's always a heel thing to do too. You want to face me, or I'm the one challenging you, but I'm gonna turn it around where you are gonna face me. You got to
Mm-hmm.
go through every one of these guys first, starting with like the Butcher next week, the Blade, then next week it'll be Phoenix, and then next week maybe Penta, or you know what I mean, like, and then in time for the pay per view,
I could see,
Kingston versus Mox. I would be down
I
for
could honestly
that.
see Penta at the pay per view. I could see Penta at the pay per view, no joke.
Well,
They're still got
I
they
would
still.
think it'd be Kingston though, right? Because if he's the head honcho, sort of a thing.
Yeah, but he's already had his match. I could see him putting. I could see him putting. Honestly, what I think is going to happen with all of this is, and we
Hmm.
need to. We're going to have to wrap this up shortly, unfortunately. I think you'll just have a good, because we still have the Archer match with Moxley.
Uh huh.
I think he'll have like Phoenix or Pentagon at the pay per view. And then, because they also announced they're going to have a tournament that will have the finals at Full Gear, where the winner will become the number one contender. I think there you might see either Hangman or Kenny, probably Kenny, win that tournament.
Yeah, hopefully, man, because AEW has 4 more years right now on their contract for TV rate. They had a 5 year thing,
Yeah,
5 year deal. 4 years, they can do a lot and still in 4 years. But by now, they got to start pulling triggers on stuff like this, where it's like people, if you're gonna draw people in for the next 3 or 4 years, they have like a snowball effect. It's time to pull the trigger on characters like the Cleaner Kenny. Don't save it for the end. Do it now in the second act because this is
right.
when we need to start getting the ball rolling and get everyone talking about it. And then you want to see who the next rising stars are going to be, like Jungle Boy or Cassidy and MJF and
But but
Allen.
on the flip side, I think Allen and MJF they'll be on that level by this time next year, no question. Kenny though, you kind of walk that fine line of, do you make an EVP the champion because you're going to have just as many people, especially from the WWE camp, bitching like, oh, yeah, they bitch about fucking WWE putting the belt on Triple H, but look at your boy there putting the belt on himself. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say too. Imagine if it was like a guy like Stone Cold that was in Triple H's position instead of Triple H. Imagine if Stone Cold married Stephanie,
Yeah,
and Stone Cold was still the coolest guy that everyone liked, and so they just went with it. Oh yeah, of course he's the fucking, you know what I mean? But since Triple H was kind of like not it was always like Stone Cold to me in the Attitude Era. It was always like Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Triple H, Mankind. Triple H was never in like he was always
Mankind
like
was over
towards the
Triple H in my
lower
opinion,
end or
but yeah, you're
whatever.
right.
So same thing here where it's like, but Kenny, he's legit and renowned as like one of the best wrestlers ever throughout the world. So I
Yeah,
don't know if people will have the same reaction if he wins his belt, where like, oh, this guy's just booking himself to win, fuck him, whatever. Where it's like, yeah, but we
I
expected
think
him to be
certain
like the.
WWE fans, including a few that we may know,
Mhm.
would probably do it just because they want something to complain about with AEW.
But also, it's like if you're the boss of say you open up a restaurant chain, does that mean you're never going to eat at your own restaurant? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No,
you can't expect Kenny never to go for the championship or never to win it just because
right.
he's the company owner. He's also one of the best wrestlers in the world, legitimately. So it's like, why? I think people would be a little bit more accepting of it. But yeah, you're right. There are
Well,
going to
oh,
be people
yeah,
who are
yeah.
like, oh,
There's going to be
well,
somebody who's going to do it because they're just like, well, the one thing I've noticed since AEW started is you get all of you. Tribalism's always been there in wrestling, but the thing I've
Uh-huh.
noticed about AEW is you have so many people that want to hate AEW because they want to say, oh, we were right all along, they sucked. Like they want to
Right.
say when if they ever go out of business, which I hope they never do, but they want to say when WWE wins this war, see, fucking told all you losers not to get invested in that. Told you Vince is the fucking goddamn man.
Yeah.
Like
But like,
you see that so much more. Whenever I was, and granted I wasn't part of no community then, but like when I was watching WCW and WWF,
yeah, but
like you had.
imagine if we had the internet during those times.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying
Like,
like we knew there was issues and stuff going on. You kind of had your fans, but I didn't hear like anybody like kind of going like, can't fucking wait for Bischoff to put WWF under. Can't fucking wait for Vince to put WW, whatever. But like
yeah. Well,
here,
even the shirt you're wearing. I can't believe Jericho's that. The Jericho's fucking goes a midget, vanilla midget
right?
at the term at the time. We need guys like Nash to run the company. It's like, or Hogan. It's like, what?
Right.
No, like
But it's like
Jericho's
now, and
legit good. That's why he's
right.
spanning so
But
long.
it's like going back to what I was saying. Like even with people we normally chat wrestling with,
Mhm.
you can tell they're like fuck. Some of them are fuck AEW because they want to go like I'm a WWE guy, and when Vince, when Vince buys your company and then pisses on it, I want to be the one going fuck yeah, I told you so. Told you it wasn't that good. And then
Yeah,
you
but that's a small. That's like a
I
That's
guess
like
I just
me not liking Roman, and then the moment he like breaks his arm in the ring, see that's or Seth Rollins for better example. The next person Seth Rollins injures in the ring. That's why I'm telling everyone that he needs to go back to developmental. You know what I mean? Or
right.
Nia Jax or whatever. It's like there's always going to be those people who are just like, oh, well, I've been telling everyone this whole time, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess
But
I just
Kenny legit
I
puts
never
on
noticed it until
great
AEW became a
matches.
thing. Yeah. And the cleaner
Yeah,
character, I mean, we kind of in the wrestling bubble knew about the
yeah.
cleaner in Japan, but AEW is a little bit bigger of a bubble. We got some chat. We
Right.
gotta acknowledge this. I think Moxley should ask someone for permission to use cow mutilation moves as Arsenal. I agree. That would be a good move for Mox. Just depends on if somebody gives that permission.
Hmm.
Yeah, crazy Kenny Omega beats. I'd be on board with that. Actually, I think Kenny needs to win that tournament, but you just never know. You don't know if they're going to go with Hangman at that point, but I still feel like there's more story to be told with Hangman. Um,
But
yeah,
you've been saying this yourself. It has to be Kenny who legit is the person everyone can believe to take it from Mox, and whether it's going to be the insane cleaner Kenny, like Nasace is saying, or maybe it's going to be, off the hinge Kenny, or maybe just the Kenny who fights with his demons to stay face or whatever. He's got to take it because if Mox loses it to someone, you have to try to imagine who's the next top guy AEW thinks deserve it. But
right.
right now, it's like, dude, it has to be Kenny because Mox legit is probably the like him leaving
He's the
WWE is
biggest.
the
He's the
best
biggest
thing he's
star
ever
in
done.
AEW. Like, and the
Yeah,
numbers do show that. Like, the show is
he's
always
he's
higher when Mox is
almost
on the show.
he's one great promo. He doesn't really have good promos, but he's one great promo or like just putting on real bullshit in a promo or whatever away from being like Stone Cold, where he's
Right.
so cool and he's so badass. You have to watch this guy.
I always thought
But like,
he did better interviews as a bad guy in my opinion, but I see what you're saying.
yeah, he's just one thing away from like, oh man, this is it. Like I'm gonna send you this clip. You have to watch it. You have to watch this guy.
Hmm.
But right now he's just he is super badass and whatever. But you have to imagine, okay, well, who will beat him? And it has to
Right.
be someone like Kenny, where Kenny's the legit best wrestler. Well, and I'm not just saying that because we're bullshitting, but because if you watch any of his New Japan matches for the last 5 years or whatever,
Right.
since
Yeah.
since AJ got kicked out of the Bullet Club and stuff, Kenny is legit like the best guy. So it's almost like saying AJ, like if you switch the two, if AJ was Kenny right now, if AJ, oh well, AJ is the owner of the company. Yeah, but have you seen his matches? He's so
Right,
fucking good. Like, yeah, like
right.
he obviously is the best.
No, I'm not saying he needs
So
like to frickin' be Triple H from several years ago, where hey, when he loses the belt, he's only gonna lose it for like 2 months, and then he's gonna win it back. But I'm thinking if he can beat Mox and then carry that for like a good 9 months to a year, yeah,
uh
that's good for Kenny. Loses the belt to Hangman
or
some
anyone at that point, Darby,
Darby.
MJF.
I feel like
Um,
the story fits well for Hangman to take the belt off Kenny at this rate, but we
yeah, and
don't
I
know where
feel
they're
bad for
going.
Hangman because I thought Hangman's almost like Roman at this point, where it's like maybe they should have pulled the trigger on him early, but it would have been a Jay White situation where it's like
Yes,
maybe too early.
yes.
The timing is everything,
I
but I
think
think
I think
they
Hangman Hangman's still got an arc. Like
yeah he
Hangman's
does he
story
does
Hangman's story for the title is not a
one
it's not
time
it's
thing.
not a one or even a two time. It's a 3 or 4 part story. It is very similar to
Right.
I'm trying to think. It's kind of similar to Naito. I'll compare it to that where Naito he tried to get to the main event and he failed. He got the main event, but then he failed to win the main event. And then he had to go his path went all fucked up and he had to go take on all these other things for 2 years and then he got it. Like just
Uh-huh.
when you were about to say I'm almost done with this, he got it. That's kind of how I'm seeing Hangman is. He had his first shot, didn't get it. Now he's trying to rebuild, and now he's got to take this whole other path that, because even he's realized he's fucked it up. And
Yeah.
it's like a whole, coming of age slash redemption slash, you know, hero's triumph all rolled into one.
Yeah, it's a
But,
hero's journey. Like, yeah.
but I feel like there's, one, maybe 2 more years left of Hangman's journey.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying too.
Hangman's
It's like,
journey, we can pull the trigger on some things. Not yet. Not yet. We still got
right.
a little bit of time with this.
I falsely predicted. I think you were the one who said too, like, no, they're gonna put the belt on Jericho first because they need someone like that to establish everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, no, they're gonna go with Hangman because he's obviously like the rising golden star. But he wouldn't have this great journey. If they would have put the belt on Hangman, he would have died in the second year. Like he would have had nothing else to
It would have been like Roman Reigns, or it would have been like when in 2013 when New Japan tried to push Naito too soon.
Uh-huh.
And Naito wasn't ready, and the fans they didn't boo him out of the building. They just didn't react to him. They did not give a fuck about Naito because they didn't want to see Naito go after Okada. They wanted Tanahashi Okada was still hot, and they wanted that.
Yeah.
So they straight up rejected Naito to the point to where he had to reinvent himself. If they would have put the belt on Hangman at All Out, it would have been one of those situations like, much as I love Hangman, as much as a lot of people in that building love Hangman, there was the second half of that going, who the fuck is Hangman Page and why he just beat a fucking legend?
Well, yeah, but then you show him a match or whatever, and oh shit.
Right, but that night and going into AEW, the new fans that could have drawn in would have been like who? What? No, fuck this. I'll watch Raw.
Right.
I'll watch you next
Exactly.
time. But because it was Jericho, and then they're like,
yeah,
oh,
the beginning of the wars too.
Everything worked, and it's still going to work. But we are out of time.
Yeah, just on a sidebar about that too. They said that NXT's had more title switches since the AEW Dynamite started than ever in their history, just because they're trying to like grab viewers. It's pretty crazy to think about.
That is. We're going to talk more next week. Just because I got to work in the morning and I got to go to bed soon. But thank you, everyone, for checking this one out. It almost didn't happen this week, but we got one. We prevailed. And we will be here next Thursday. EZ might be back after a couple weeks hiatus. Eric will be back. Yeah, he's on trip. Eric will be here again next week, and we will cover everything. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of pro wrestling, but from comics, anime, and all things geek culture. Follow me on social media pages, facebook.com/athleticgeek89, Twitter @athletic_geek89, Instagram @athleticgeek89. And if you feel like helping the channel financially, check out my Patreon and contribute a few bucks that way, and we'll put that money to improve the setup here and the equipment. Eric doesn't have much room on his phone for social media, but he does sell on Macari, so check that out.
Look me up. Everything's for sale.
None of my stuff's for sale, but his stuff's for sale.
Everything you see on the screen right now is for sale.
It is not. Do not let his Macari rating will go to. You'll be severely disappointed when you bid on all 4 horsemen and J.J. Dillon, and you get literally 4 toy horses from the Cowboys and Indians set with Rick, J.J., Tully, and Arn written on it. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that to yourself. But give him the money on Macari still. All right.
No, yeah.
But for Eric Wade, I'm the Athletic Geek. We're just 2 marks, and we're out. Have a good one.
Nice.
Ugh.
And we're current